Abraham, the man called by God, had stepped into the promised land. But what happens when the very ground beneath your feet begins to crack, when the well springs run dry, and even the father of faith faces a test that threatens to unravel his conviction? Life in Canaan, the land God promised, was not always abundant. A severe famine, relentless and unforgiving, swept across the region. The grazing lands withered, the wells dried up, and the very survival of Abraham's extended family and his vast herds was at stake. With no other recourse, Abraham made a difficult decision, one that would take him away from the promised land, to a place of both plenty and peril: Egypt. This was not the journey of faith he had known before, but a desperate flight for survival, a descent into the very heart of worldly power and potential temptation. As they neared the bustling, sophisticated borders of Egypt, Abraham's faith was overshadowed by a primal fear. His wife, Sarai, was exceptionally beautiful. In a land where rulers held absolute power, where a man's wife could be taken without question, Abraham feared for his life. He rationalized, believing that if the Egyptians knew Sarai was his wife, they would kill him to take her. And so, in a moment of profound human weakness and fear, he asked Sarai to tell a partial truth, a dangerous deception. "Please say you are my sister, so that it may go well with me because of you, and that my life may be spared on your account." A half-truth, born of fear, placed Sarai in immediate jeopardy and revealed a chink in the armor of Abraham's trust. He, the one called to walk by faith, chose in this moment to walk by sight, by human cunning, and by fear. And so the deception began to unfold with terrifying precision. When they entered Egypt, Pharaoh's officials, captivated by Sarai's beauty, quickly brought word to the king. Pharaoh, a powerful and unchallenged ruler, wasted no time. Sarai was taken into his royal palace, destined for his harem. Abraham, her supposed brother, was treated well for her sake, receiving flocks, herds, male and female servants, and camels. But what bitter comfort was this? His wife, the vessel of God's promised lineage, was now in the hands of a pagan king, and the very covenant God had established seemed to hang by a thread. Abraham, the father of faith, could only watch, helpless and haunted by the consequences of his fear-driven choice. The promise of a great nation, of a son through Sarai, was now dangerously close to being extinguished. Yet, even in the midst of Abraham's failing, God remained faithful to his promise. The divine covenant, sealed with Abraham, was not dependent on human perfection, but on God's unwavering character. The Lord struck Pharaoh and his household with severe plagues because of Sarai, Abraham's wife. Pharaoh, bewildered and troubled by these afflictions, eventually discovered the truth. Whether through divine revelation or through a panicked report from his stricken household, he confronted Abraham. "What have you done to me? Why did you not tell me that she was your wife? Why did you say, 'She is my sister,' so that I took her to be my wife? Now then, here is your wife. Take her and go." God, in his mysterious and sovereign power, had intervened. He had protected Sarai, protected his promise, and humbled a king, all despite Abraham's fearful actions. This episode of Abraham's journey is a powerful, humbling reminder. Even the greatest figures of faith are human, susceptible to fear and prone to error. Abraham, the man chosen to be the father of nations, faltered. Yet God's faithfulness endured. His promises are not contingent on our perfect obedience, but on his perfect character. He protected his covenant, his chosen people, and his plan, even when Abraham's faith wavered. It teaches us that while our choices have consequences, God's grace and his ultimate purpose will always prevail. What does Abraham's stumble in Egypt teach you about God's unwavering faithfulness amidst our imperfections? Ponder this as we journey further. Join us for Episode 4, Dividing Ways, Lot's Choice, where prosperity brings new challenges and Abraham makes another pivotal decision. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to follow Abraham's epic story of faith. See you next time.